It bothers me when people beat around the bush. Have you ever had one of those conversations where you start talking about one thing and then you get in a little argument about whose turn it is to take out the trash? And then all of these emotions and unsaid feelings that happened 5 days ago, 5 weeks ago, and 5 years ago just explode on this person? Well, that happened to me once. I was engaged to a boy from Rigby, Idaho. And we were having a great day at the swimming pool. We got in one of these said arguments, and it just unleashed this whole can of unwanted worms. We argued for hours. I thought we had come to kind of an agreement. He dropped me off at home, and we took a break from each other. I texted him later that night to see if he wanted to do anything, see if the hurt was over. It wasn't. He didn't return any of my calls, any of my text messages. But as a 19-year-old engaged girl, I was feeling that anxiety. Like, what am I going to do? So I just let it be for the night. The next morning, he didn't show up to go to church with me, and I knew something was wrong by then because we had this pattern of going together. So after the meetings, I went home, and I had a bunch of thoughts. What did I do wrong? What did I say wrong? What could I have said differently? How could I have prevented this fight? And finally, I couldn't take anymore. I drove up to Rigby, and he was there sitting in his house with my roommate. And I told him, we need to talk. I don't know my roommate's here, but we need to talk. So we drove to a park, and he started off with, Jenny, we need to talk. That never starts a conversation out well. Never. I knew something was about to happen. He started off by saying, Jenny, you're such a great girl. I love you so much. But I just feel like you're so good for me. You're too good, in fact. I don't want to stand in your way. What a bunch of BS. As I sat listening to this flood of new terrible information, I thought, no, I'm perfect for you. I chose you. I don't care that you're not perfect. I know I am, but it's okay if you're not. Because I chose you. Well, he didn't want to talk anymore. So he dropped me off at my apartment. And I was thinking to myself, are we done? Are we broken up? Or is this just a break? You know, like a 5-day break, and then we're okay again. I did give back my ring, but I wasn't sure if we were officially broken up. Well, to make a long story short, that was one of the last times that I talked to my ex-fiance. And I can tell you that the things that were left unsaid left me feeling hurt and damaged. So I have Darren, he has a timer for me. I'm going to illustrate to you how he could have changed this conversation so he wouldn't have beat around the bush and wouldn't have caused me all this pain and suffering. So when I say go, Darren, I want you to press it. When I say stop, stop it. And in this time, I'm going to tell you what he should have said instead. Ready? Go. I don't want to marry you. Stop. How many seconds?
2.7.
2.7 seconds to tell me what he really felt. That would have given me 1 hour and 58 and a bunch of seconds to go home, eat a bucket of greasy fried chicken, down myself with a gallon of ice cream, watch a sappy chick flick, and cry until my tear ducts were empty. But instead, he gave me 2 hours of crappy excuses that left me feeling like I didn't know where I stood. Beating around the bush. It's horrible. Now, beating around the bush hasn't always been a bad thing. In fact, the phrase comes from when an old hunter used to go out and hunt for boars and wild pigs, instead of meeting them head on, they would hide around a bush and make them come out. Scare them a little bit, right? Just like I scared you. And instead of facing a dangerous animal, which I guess I could be a dangerous animal, they would kind of do the easier, more convenient, safer way. I wonder if that's what he was thinking, because sometimes I'm not quite safe. But in any case, this was a helpful situation when the hunters did this. But in my case, it left me feeling hurt. Fellow Toastmasters, how many times do we do this in our life? How many times do we beat around the bushes of our life and not accomplish what we really want to because we don't want to do something hard or special? I know that the times in my life where I have grown the most is when I have experienced those hard feelings and those emotions that bring things to the surface that beating around the bush would not. We understand why people beat around the bush, but how many times do we beat around the bush and prevent ourselves from accomplishing great things? I know in my life I have a great goal to become an author for children's books. I've had this idea for 5 years now of this book that I wanted to write. The idea is sound. I've shared it with many people. I've even started the sketches. But for some reason, I have let this big boar stand in front of me. Why? Is it the money that it would take to do this? No, I'm sure my husband would do whatever it took to support me in this dream. Is it that I'm scared to put myself out there? I don't think so, because I'm the most bold person you will ever meet. So what am I letting stop me? Is it the time? I think so. Because I know I spend a lot of time on my iPod, on my computer, on my email. So this new year, I want to make the goal to kick these boars out of my life. And instead of beating around the bush, I'm going to chop that sucker down. Madam Toastmaster.
That was good. We all need to not beat around the bush and chop it down. And I know that that's